It's Sean Tyas, and I'm here in Zurich for the Next Universe 2 party tonight.
So Sean, you just got in from Dublin, right?
Yep.
How do you feel?
Actually, pretty good. Relatively well rested, considering, and ready to go for tonight. And of course, tonight's a home game, so nice to play back in my own country right now. Well, Switzerland. Well, it's arguable which my home country is. It's one of my two home countries, so it's crazy to always play so close to home, and it's going to be pretty great, I'm sure.
Last time we met was this summer at Lumi Beach. How you been since?
Awesome. I'm not so sure. Did I have was Morella born yet? Baby Morella born yet?
I think she was actually just newborn. Because I know V asked you what it's like to have 3 daughters, right?
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So she must have been relatively fresh, and then now she's as of I believe, as of Monday, she's 5 months old, so time's going super fast. It's a bit insane in the household. My studio time is they're through the roof now, and of course, with 3 girls running around, it's also a lot of work. But I think it's all good, and I'm not feeling as stressed as when I only had 2 daughters. So I guess it's all about motivation, and if you have the motivation, then the work doesn't. I mean, the amount of work that goes on per day doesn't affect you.
What you mentioned before, we're in Zurich. How does it feel to play so close to home?
It just feels great. I mean, like I said, it's number one, the vicinity of being so close to where I'm living is great, and Zurich's an awesome crowd. I mean, it's nice to be able to flex my muscles a little bit when it comes to speaking German with the crowd and stuff like that. And they go, "Oh, you speak Schweizerdeutsch?" I'm like, "Yeah, natürlich." Like, it's cool to be able to say that, because most people don't expect me to be able to speak any German. I'm an American. We're not known for our ability to learn languages very quickly. So yeah, that's nice. And I know the promoters always put a hell of a lot of work into these events.
I was going to ask you, you're back. This is my 3rd time, and your 2nd time with the promoters of Next Universe. How do you look? How does it feel to be back?
Basically the litmus test, the acid test, I suppose you could say, of Next Universe was back in February, I believe it was, and it was a big test thing. And nobody really knew how it was going to go. Trance music overall in Switzerland, in Zurich especially, has kind of seen a bit of more of an ebb over the last few years, and obviously it's still going to be full of trance fans. They don't go anywhere, but promoters just seem to put less faith in doing a trance event and having faith that it will be full. Now these guys, they do have the faith, and they believe in this, and you just feel it. You feel this energy about all the promoters that are involved, Manuel especially, and they put together this labor of love that is an insane party. And it's great. You feel that, and you feel a resurgence, especially when you see the people show up in droves for it, and it's just really, really cool to see. The vibe's fantastic. Everybody's there just for the music. It's not like a place you just kind of stumble into because you're drunk from another bar. It's kind of set away. So if you're there, you know why you're there, and there's a reason for it.
You're playing a very exciting back-to-back set tonight. What can you tell us about it?
First time going back-to-back with Darren. So, Darren Porter, of course. And he's been a long-time friend now for years. And watched Darren grow. And it's been a pleasure. And now at this point, I think it reached a really nice culmination that we can share the decks for tonight, especially in Switzerland. That kind of is like just icing on the cake.
What can we expect from the set?
Definitely a lot of new material from both of us. And, I mean, it'll be... we discussed it, and we wanted to do half producer set and half set of tracks that we're really, really into at the moment. So hopefully there's some surprises in there. Hopefully there'll be tracks that you haven't heard before. And it's just going to be, as you can imagine, it's going to be banging as fuck. So
how would you describe your relationship with Darren, your friendship?
Yeah, longtime friends for years and years. Actually, just got back. I went to visit him last week in Germany, and we're like two old yentas. We'll call each other on the telephone. Like, we do Skype video call almost once a day. Like, so what are you working on? Yeah, what are you working on? And then we'll discuss it. And this is how kind of we decided to do these ideas of these soundbanks that we made. We were just like, one day let's just make a bank. We have so many silent sounds, and then we did eventually Spire Bank, and it was just so easy to do these things because I just had them lying around. So And we talked production techniques. It's a fun thing, and I think Darren, I think both ways it keeps us both motivated nonstop to keep updating each other with what we're working on. And then I'll send him something, and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta go do this," and he'll send me something. I'm like, "Fuck, I gotta do this." And our styles are so different. He focuses on the cinematic ambiance of a track with lots of very, very, very dramatic and sometimes ethnic kind of textures, and I focus on bass lines. And we both are a good influence in that direction, on both directions.
Darren wanted to ask me, where do you find inspiration to get up at 3:30 in the morning?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the fact that I started smoking again. My body tells me that I need nicotine at that point, or if it's the fact that I just love every project and I have to go to sleep always with an unfinished feeling. So my body's kind of telling me at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3:30, I'm like, fuck it. There's just no more time for sleep. I got to get to the studio and get cracking. And then I'm down there making coffee, out smoking, and then down to the studio. And then I love that. I mean, plus I get a big head start on the household, who seem to slowly come to life between 6 and 7. It's and then the visitors start popping into my studio.
That's impressive to get up that early.
But I also go to sleep early. I'm like a fucking 80-year-old.
Yeah, because I saw you work best in daylight, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm far from a vampire. I wouldn't. Yeah, absolutely.
If we move into what recently was announced, the Degenerate.
It's the new branding. So basically, if you would look at my previous branding, where it was Sean Tyas presenting Titanium. Now it'll be Titanium sessions, Titanium recordings, and Titanium events every once in a while. We did the Titanium 100 and 200 events throughout the world. Degenerate is basically the replacement of that. Titanium had a good long lifespan. I just want something to kind of signify this seriousness of workflow that I have going on right now, and this new focus. And to have a new focus, you need to kind of completely replace every aspect of your work. So that would mean, that would mean new visuals when I'm on stage. That would mean new music, non-stop new music, a new radio show with a new format, higher quality all throughout. Bars raised, not one level, not two levels, but bars raised 3 levels of quality. Now, this is going to drive me absolutely batty as far as production, of me being a perfectionist, because I am that way, and it drives me nuts because a song is never done until it's reached version number 25. What else? I mean, the radio show I'm really excited about. The new format of the radio show is as such. Previously it was usually an hour to an hour and a half of my own picks for what I want to present in the radio show. Lots of talking. And even more talking when you introduce the fact that I was doing 1 to 2 30-minute guest mixes every show as well, with an interview to accompany both of them. And some interviews go long, so as you know.
Yeah. I know.
So, the show is just more focused about just the kind of. I wanted to make it more about this Degenerate brand that we're just going to build and develop the concept as we go. But I think right now the foundation of the Degenerate is looking really cool.
What is it going to mean musically or music-wise, production-wise?
Sure. I mean, think about a definition of a degenerate. The degenerate kids out there, they're the rebels that mommy and daddy are almost embarrassed to be seen in public with until they're done with this phase of their life. And these degenerates are out. And the idea is to just really be part of something that goes against the grain, and to be not necessarily part of that pink candy floss mainstream, and to be more going against the grain, but in a good way, and in a way that can make somebody proud of themselves.
I know in a recent interview or in another interview you talked about how producers need to step it up, and you need to see more of Trance 3.0. Yeah. Could this be your own stepping up?
Certainly could be. Myself included, I'm included in that statement that everybody needs to step things up. We all need to work a lot harder. The other genres are just laughing. I mean, I don't want to say this, but they are laughing at us as far as trance goes. Not all the trance guys, but the fact that there are about 1,000 new trance tracks a week, and I'm probably not exaggerating at all with this, and, probably 95% of them sound like horse shit. They're clipping, distorting. The guys have way too much reverb that isn't sidechained. The EQ's not done right. The kick drums are flat as, flat as a 12-year-old girl. It's just well, it's probably a bad thing to say, right? But anyway, Yeah, it's just, people need to get over themselves. And they're patting themselves on the back by giving themselves fucking, like a snare roll. Like, oh, you like that snare roll? No, I fucking don't like that snare roll. It's a sample you took from a fucking sample pack. So, people need to get over themselves and just work a little bit harder and be focused on stuff. Now, of course, there are loads of producers that are doing really great stuff. But for there to be a need for 2 new labels every week sending me promos for the same shit from it's just... I think it's watering down what the good trance is in the scene. Now, I don't know if it's that way in the other genres. Maybe it is. Maybe of course, I just notice it in trance because that's the genre I'm part of every day. So, but I do feel that the quality is being raised slowly and finally. So, I had made that statement last interview, and now it's actually noticeable.
Yeah, now it's happening, and I think you're actually the perfect person in the scene with your experience and with what you have done to raise your own bar and to also tell people to raise what they're doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be that dick, but yeah, you got to do it. Like, somebody's got to say something. I mean, there was a point where, especially during my little experimentation phase where I was, experimenting with other sounds, I'm like, this stuff, you could say whatever you want about, all the older electro stuff. I'm not talking about this, EDM-ness going on. I'm talking about proper, real, but talking about this EDM stuff. Now, it's just, a bunch of producers using presets out of Silent, presets out of Nexus, and, with admittedly great mastering, which does save a shit track. And in the end, what's the point of trying to make? What was the question? I'm totally off on that.
Well, that you're the right person to do this. That you're the right person to step up and the right person to tell others to step up as well.
Okay, so that was my point, yeah. So, I don't know if it's the way this is going on in the other genres, but yeah, when I did get a taste of them and how those people are, I just want... And just people, us trance guys need to kind of stick together a little bit better, needs to be a little bit more of a team player mentality. It's changed a bit. The politics have gotten a little bit in the way quite a bit. And it kind of takes the fun of the studio work in a way sometimes. And... yeah, I mean, I think that's the next thing that needs to change. I mean, a little bit of more love between everybody, and we're all doing the same thing, and we can help each other rather than hurt each other. I think that'd be good.
I received a question from Charlie, who wanted to know if you have any drum and bass productions coming up.
Yeah, quite a few actually. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, 14-hour studio days for the last 6 or 7 weeks now. You can imagine that it's not all 140 trance, but you don't need to worry. I'm not going down in tempo. I'm only going up. So it's like, really ripping 174, 175 BPM drum and bass tracks. And they sound really good. And until that, I'm 100% sure, and that they won't be released as Sean Tyas, so everybody can definitely unclench their fists for the moment, and it'll be a different name, and I'm going to keep it secret for a bit because I want to see how it's received by the drum and bass community in a natural way, as opposed to them perceiving a trance artist, saying, hey, I could do drum and bass too. So that's the plan for this other name. And, that's the plan for those tracks. And they're not going anywhere until I'm 100% sure that they can stand toe-to-toe with any of the best drum and bass tracks that I consider the best anyway, right now.
How would you describe your own work ethics?
I think a little bit of a lunatic, I think. I just love work. I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. When you love what you do, you live, breathe. It's a 24/7 job. It's 14 hours in the studio, but you don't get off, technically. You always got your mind that's constantly calling at you and tugging at you to, we have to do this. We have to do this now. So there'll be times where I have to leave the dinner table. Because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to change the shading of a gradient on one of the Titanium Recordings release sleeves. Or I forgot to add, an open hi-hat at bar number 33 of this latest track. Random shit that if you don't think about it, you're probably going to forget about it the next day. You just got to do it. So you're always on call. I'm like an obstetric, like an OBGYN, like a doctor that gives births babies. You're always on call. There's my beeper. Shit, I got to go. Batmobile.
Something that usually comes up in our interviews. How would you describe your quitting smoking ethics?
Pretty shitty. Come smoking like a chimney again. I mean, it's a roller coaster ride, and it's just insane. I'll go from smoking like a pack a day or more to deciding to. Well, I've been on Champix, those pills that you got to take. I've been on those things 4 times, and so I'll take the pills. So it would go through the month of that, and then off the pills onto jogging, which would become my new addiction, for like 2 or 3 months. And I'll get super slim. This well, it's not really double chin now, but it will come back, I promise. And like basically, I could feel myself getting chubbier again, like beer gut comes back, because of course the drinking kicks in. And then, yeah, there'll be one event or something that happens where I'm like, fuck this, need a cigarette, smoke, next day, pack bought, there goes my whole little exercise plan. So it's a roller coaster ride. So yeah, it's probably not very healthy to do it that way, but smoking's unhealthy anyway, so.
So you have a Degenerate tour coming up.
Yes, basically lasting from next week to all the way until, so far March. So it's, you know, basically just kind of to celebrate the new kind of, just the new me. I mean, it's going to be really a lot of fun. And I know my fans are going to be digging this, because, I mean, I think one of the favorite aspects of my music from the fans was always the edginess and the in-your-faceness, like the acids, the driving shit, the distortion. And I think they really like that aspect more than any other one. Of course, the melodies, but they'll never go away. I mean, the melodies will always be first and forefront. But the idea here is to just clean things up, make sure everything is sharp, crisp, clean, and yeah, I just, like I said, raise that bar, and it just needs to be that way.
You open up the Degenerate branding with a free track. What can you tell me about the track?
The track was a cool thing that came together pretty quickly. Actually, I was able to put it together. It was definitely to commemorate, you know, the launch of the new brand, and it's called "Try to Hold On." It's definitely a combination of different things, and it's very unique, and a lot of samples pulled from tracks, violating many copyright rules. So that's, I mean, another good reason that would have to be a free giveaway. I think this was my first free original track giveaway, and the track bangs. So yeah, definitely worthwhile if you don't have it yet to go grab yourself a copy. I'm pretty sure you get the link directly off my Facebook page. So yeah. Make it easy and go get it.
I talked to Darren before as well about your soundbanks. How does it feel to create something and you sort of give it to people for them to use as well?
I know. I almost have mixed feelings about it now. They're like I'm gonna go down on myself here, because they're fucking good sound banks. They're really good. I mean, they're immediately usable. I mean, the Spire one's great, and the Silent one is great. You can open these things up, and probably 90% of the sounds that are in there, you could just hold down a key and you can immediately slot it into your current track. And yeah, but it's a mixed bag for us, because sometimes it's like sending our kids off to go, to go to college. They're going to be used and abused now by other people. We're like, oh, that used to be our sound, but whatever, that's fine. You have to say goodbye, and it's more inspiration for us each to be also making more of our own sounds now too, because once you give a sound out and once you sell it out, everybody's got it. So it's just incentive to just keep getting cracking and make newer ones, which is totally in line with what I want for the scene anyway. So,
Sean, when we met, I saw you had a new name on your arm. Finally, right?
Yeah. Morella, of course, the third addition to our family. Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely, and this was an easy thing to add to the arm, too. It was like almost like the space was left there. We didn't even intend that there was going to be a third one, so got lucky with that. And, and she's been amazing. She's been... I don't want to make a competition, but she's definitely the best of the three. She's so behaved. Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah, she's super cute. Smiles for me. My other 2 kids hated me until they turned like 2 years old. So this is great.
The hate is going to come back when they turn 14, I guess.
I hope so, because the hate will be definitely returned to them.
So yeah, the family's good and everything.
Yeah, amazing. At home, things are smooth. My wife's a rock, so she holds that fort down really well. And I think everybody that, especially in this business, if you got kids, you're going to need somebody like that to really hold down the home life and keep it all in check. And so I'm thrilled to have her, and I love her to death. So thank God for her, because I don't think I would have half the time in the studio that I have now, or probably even less. Yeah,
how does it work combining 3 kids, family, with the production work that you do and everything that you do in the music as well?
The trick to it is my studio's in the house. It's in the basement, and people it becomes a bit of like a Penn State, like a Grand Central Station of the house. There are people coming and going. Most of the time, the kids are just coming in asking me for chewing gum. But it's really cool. Like if I need to go, every couple of hours I'll go upstairs in the kitchen, we'll sit at the dining room table with my wife and we'll have a cup of coffee. Then break over, go right back down, recollect, and get back into the flow. Then, on a Wednesday morning, I take my middle daughter, Kyla, to like a gymnastics class. And it's like a mommy and me type thing, but I'm like the only daddy in it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So there are little things like that I really enjoy, and the combination of all the flexibility of this work with being a parent works really well. Now, granted, I'm rarely home on weekends, so that part is unchangeable, and it's just something I have to live with. So I make the best of weekdays.
Yeah, you still have 5 days at home then, I guess. And I heard you work best in daylight. You don't stay up nights, right?
Never. Very rarely. I mean, only to do the gigs. My weekends are complete reflection or like a mirror image of what I do on the weeks, which is horrible for my head, but I try.
So, in the last interview we did this summer, V asked you to grade yourself for half of 2014. And you gave yourself a D, I think, right?
Wow, I'm such a dick to me.
Yeah, you gave yourself a D. But you also said, I fucking hate myself. Because you were hard on yourself, I guess, right? What is it like to be Sean Tyas, really? Wow. How much pressure do you have on yourself?
I'm happy you asked me that question again now. It's really, really been an interesting year for me. It's been a huge change. I would say, as far as grading myself goes, if I was to do it again now, I'm going to say I started the year off as a D, and in the last 8 weeks I would actually give myself an A. Not an A plus yet, and that's not necessarily based on work amount. It's based on results. So I'll give myself an A based on work ethic, the amount of effort I'm giving, and the quality of the results I'm getting. I'm happy to say, yeah, I would say A. Was that the whole question?
Well, I just wanted to, when you said that you fucking hate yourself, I guess I can sort of figure out what it means.
Not that I'm sitting here with a knife.
No. But I mean, you're never happy with your work, right? Or you're never satisfied. You want to push. You want to push further.
Never satisfied. But this has been more of a renaissance in my head and in the studio, where the work I'm making is I will leave the studio absolutely like, whew, it was a good day. Like I tell Darren all the time, like I don't want to leave the studio. I want to keep going. I always feel like I'm interrupted right in the middle of something, and it's dinner time. Shit. Like right in the middle of this, but there's always going to be something interrupting. You can't work in the studio for 7 days straight with no sleep. You have to have breaks. So, such as it is, and your ears need breaks too, which I tend to forget a couple times. So, whatever, you have to do it.
I have a feeling we sort of have a bit of a newborn Sean Tyas here.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a fresh view on everything.
Yeah, her name is Morella, but the newborn me, yeah, definitely. I've never felt. Emotionally and physically I could be a little bit more fit. I need to get up to cigarettes, but mentally and emotionally and with motivation, never felt it more in the last 5 years ever.
What is it like to have? You have actually very, very true fans that back you up. Also, yeah. What's the feeling like?
That's great, and I like being on Facebook to converse with a lot of people. I mean, most of the people that I know from the gigs, these true fans and stuff. I go out into the crowd and I hang out with them a bit at the parties. Like, they are just awesome people, and they're good vibes, and they make me happy when I'm there at the parties. So see them, everyone's smiling, and you catch up with some people. You even get a glimpse into their lives, and it's nice that they let us be privy to these. So yeah, fans are awesome. I mean, most of my fans are also my friends. So yeah, it's cool.
So what can we expect from Sean Tyas in 2015? What do you have coming up?
Okay, so I mean, apart from what we talked about already with the Degenerate tour, like already leading up into March and April, plenty of new tracks. I mean, basically, we're aiming for a lot of tracks next year, to the point where you'll be seeing something from me every 4 to 6 weeks, if not even less of an interim. Now, I can maintain that production schedule, and I'm 100% sure of it, because in the last 8 weeks, I've finished 4 tracks and almost finished another 12. Or no, it might be another 10. I might be exaggerating, but it's up there. It's come to something just stupid, ridiculous. And all these were started from scratch. So the idea here is to just really keep pushing, try to maintain this level of momentum that I'm building up in the studio, and you'll be able to really, really hear the result of all this, pretty soon anyway. I mean, the first bit was to try to hold on free giveaway. You're going to hear a cool remix that I've just done for Solar Stone. Actually, you can actually check it out. It's on my podcast. It's part of the live set of the first Degenerate episode. And I also like really curious to see what when the name for the drum and bass is revealed and what the tunes sound like. I'm curious to see what people think of that. There's so much. I mean, it doesn't even need to be drum and bass too. Only I'm experimenting with other sounds as well. But never be worried. I didn't want to use that word worry, but never be concerned, because I mean, there's always going to be at this point. As far as 140 to like higher BPM trance tracks go, there should be at least 10 for me next year. Should be solid. Don't worry. Hey, this is Sean Tyas, and we are at the Next Universe 2 over in Zurich. Thank you for watching.